Good morning. This whole load has been unload a couple of lifts, pull 10 feet forward, and then unload a few more lifts. Put this camera up. And you can see the rest of the unload. There we go. So yeah, they have to unload everything kind of just off the roadway here. Oh no! That just went wrong. The bottom part pulled out. Okay, well, we'll have to figure that out. Probably lift the top ones off and then lift that one last. But a bunch of 2x6s just popped out. Huh. But yeah, unload a few bundles, pull forward. Unload a few bundles, pull forward. This is basically the staging point to a project like 3 blocks away. They're prefabbing all the walls and doors to the apartment complex. Let's put the rest of the cameras up. So I'm thinking what caused that is he had his forks a little too far through, and the forks grabbed the bottom of this and pulled it out, and the strap snapped. Oh well, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. I'll wait till he has that off. I'll stack these on top of there, and that way he can put his forks in underneath. I think we'll make it work. It'll work. Oh, okay. I was gonna put them up here. We can do. That's one last trip for you guys.
I appreciate that.
What's that? That can stay there. If it gets knocked off, it gets knocked off. Okay, thank you. Let's hammer down. Thank you. I see a rock. What was the bang? Let's get the rock. Don't want to throw rocks into people's windshields. Let's get out of here. We're gonna run over the Kootenai Pass empty, so no ferry today. And we're gonna need to get to a shop, get some tires as well. The road's starting to get busy here. Quite busy. Quite busy. Oh, that's gonna be tricky, honestly. It is almost 9 o'clock. So I'm guessing there's even a school bus. So yeah, there must be a school nearby. And all the parents are dropping off their school kids, so oh, boss, if you hadn't done the fake start thing, I would have gone there. That car is just going to have to wait. Started going before I saw there was a car there, and that's okay. Let's close this window. I looked on the map. The easiest way to get out of here is this way. The least amount of corners is Willowbrook. Willowbrook. This is not Willowbrook. Busy for a church. I wonder if they have school in the church. It might be a school / church. Is that Willowbrook right there? I think that's Willowbrook. Looks like Willowbrook on the map. I don't see a sign, no, but I'm gonna just make the turn because it feels right. Literally no sign for if this is Willowbrook, but GPS says I did it right. I have no idea if trucks are allowed on this road, but I'm a local delivery, so it's okay. Like there's two ways out of here. One way is 4 corners, another one is 2 corners, like intersections. Like, I'll go this way. 2 intersections, and there's a red light here to get back on the highway. We're good.
Turn left in the
Yeah, welcome to Cranbrook, at least a little portion of it. Turning as well, perfect. Perfect. And because I need both lanes to make the turn, I don't legally have to go back into the left lane. I can legally stay in the right lane. Actually, I have a choice. I know most cars don't know that rule, but you're always supposed to I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Whew. Might be another one coming. But you're always supposed to turn into the nearest lane. Oh boy. I'm allergic to you guys. And of course, the reason why you turn into the first lane is because you can make the turn even if there's traffic coming, as long as the traffic is in the other lane. If the first lane is clear, you can go make that turn. And then if you do want to get into the second lane, once you're in the first lane, then you signal over and move over. Every city I go to, I swear That's not something they teach on driver's ed anymore. I don't know why cars just cut over to the second or third lane even. But in a big rig, I need both lanes to make that turn. So I can't go until I've cleared both lanes. There's no traffic in both lanes. And since I needed to block both lanes, I now have a choice of which lane I want to end up in. Does that make sense? I only say that because every now and then I get a comment in the down below that says I made an illegal turn. No, I didn't. Guys, look on the left-hand side. Another Kentucky Fried Chicken with a bucket. Cranbrook still has a bucket. Vernon still has a bucket. I actually seen quite a few. Ever since you guys pointed it out that Vernon still had the bucket, I've seen quite a few of the buckets still here in BC. It looks like British Columbians like holding on to the bucket as long as possible. They should honestly bring the bucket back. Put the bucket on new restaurants. And then put a little motor in it so it spins. Didn't the buckets used to spin? I thought they used to, I can't remember. So I think the plan is to grab a load that's going to go over to the Okanagan, close to Vernon, and then we're going to get some used tires on the truck and some brand new tires for the trailer. Used tires for the truck because we got runoffs. Basically tires that came off that were partially used when we switch over to winter tires, right? So every single winter we switch to brand new winter tires. A lot of companies don't. I'm glad the company I worked for, just right before Halloween, we get 8 brand new winter tires. Excuse me. And since we only have a little bit till Halloween, I don't want to put winter tires on now because we're still having days of 30 degrees Celsius. Those winter tires melt off pretty quick. I want to put those winter tires on as late as possible. So let's go grab a bunch of those old tires from last year that still have tread on them. Let's get more miles on those before we switch over to winters. My steers have a couple of weeks left before I want to replace the steer tires, so the steer tires will be brand new for winter as well. The steers are still at 5/32, so we have a couple of weeks left on those, I think. It's going to be perfect to have new steers and new drives. Just in time for winter. Maximum traction. Swampy section of Cranbrook here. I'm always looking for moose, but I never see them. There's lots of ducks. I see a crane, maybe it's a stork, big white bird. Might be like a stork crane type of thing. It looks like a flamingo, but it's white. What a beautiful morning. Still a little bit of smoke haze. It's definitely less. They got some rain here yesterday. I got here after the rain had stopped, but there are puddles everywhere. The roads are wet. Alright, so I see yellow flashing lights ahead. What do we got? Maybe just maybe cleaning up roadkill. Could be that. Roadkill or debris off the road. Hammer down. Set cruise control for 100 and let it go. Well, 102. Should be a fairly relaxing drive. Pretty bumpy ride. Well, 102 is going to be too fast. I'm catching up with them. Got cruise control set for 99 now. So the boss was trying to get me a load in Creston, and that didn't work out. And then he was trying to get me another load of veneer going to Savannah, but then he found a load that pays a little more. We're going to have a load going out of Salmo to Armstrong. Does that mean the Monashees? I think that means the Monashees. Nice. I'll be driving into the sun though. I don't know if I can shoot a video there. Will I make it to Armstrong tonight? Oh, that's a good question. I guess it depends on how long it's going to take to load.
Going to Moyie, so
at 6:30 in the morning, which means I can drive, if I don't get any off-duty time, I can drive till 8:30 p.m. Empty over Kootenai Pass should make pretty good time. We'll see if I overheat climbing Kootenai Pass empty, but I doubt it. An intercooler on the last video. I think we're getting a new oil cooler. That's the term we used, oil cooler, not an intercooler. Intercooler cools the air going into the turbo, right? So not the intercooler, an oil cooler is getting replaced. I'm getting lots and lots of comments on how to fix the overheating issue. Basically, you have to take it apart and pressure wash the inside. We've done all of that. Took the front, the rad off, the oil cooler, everything has been taken off and pressure clean, steam clean, cleaned out, and it's still overheating. So I think the next option was starting to replace parts. And I'm not 100% sure. I've asked and haven't gotten a clear answer. I'm like, I'll have to go check. That's the answer I've gotten. If the oil thermostat has been replaced or not. There was talk about replacing it, but I don't know if it's actually been replaced. Since it's not my truck, it's between the shop and the boss, right? So I only hear things secondhand. Shop doesn't really tell me what they're doing. They're telling the boss what they're doing. RV picked a good little pullout to spend the night. I think I would probably think that's a good choice. I would do the same thing along a little creek there. You would hear a couple of trains going by overnight. I mean, I parked right next to the train track and I heard 2 trains. But I sleep pretty deep. The rumbling of trains don't really wake me up. What does wake me up is a reefer right beside my bunk. I can't stand sleeping at truck stops with a reefer van parked next to me. Just can't do it. For some reason, that spike of audio turning on wakes me up all the time. Or even worse is, just as I'm about to doze off, all of a sudden, wham! Engine starting up right next to my head. I'm sure if I drove a reefer truck, I'd just get used to it. Owl's Nest RV Resort. lane up ahead. We're driving about 5 kilometers below the speed limit. Let's get right back up to his bumper. That way, as we hit the passing zone, we're nice and close and we can make the best of it. I think we're coming up to Moyie Lake. Be on our right-hand side. Yeah, Moyie Lake Provincial Park. Ha! Ha! Almost like I knew what I was talking about. It's crazy we're driving directly into the sun. It's first thing in the morning and we're driving westbound and yet we're driving directly into the sun. Obviously we're not driving westbound, but the highway is westbound. We're on Highway 3, Crow's Nest, westbound. I'm driving into the sunrise. If you looked at the map at the beginning of the video, it's a lot of southbound. Oh, you Goomba, you're speeding up now. You Goomba! We were doing 95 and now all of a sudden we're doing 100. Come on. Come on! You unbelievable. Now he's speeding up. We're doing 105. You jackwagon. Good for nothing jackwagon. Unbelievable. You're gonna slow down now, aren't you? Oh! From Utah, I think. It looks like the plate says Utah. Maybe you should have let me by. That's why I always slow down on the passing lane, let everybody behind me that caught up with me. If you caught up with me, you will get by me at a passing lane. So the last thing I want is somebody angry on my bumper. I'm not actually angry, I'm just a little frustrated by people like you. Hey, there's a pullout over here. You should use it. Good job. Should have let me pass at the passing zone, huh? Friggin' idiots. Like, why? Why, guys? Why? Why do you guys all do that? Not all. Here's the thing. We all hate traffic, right? the town I live in has got the worst traffic in the world, or the town near me has got the worst traffic in the world. Everybody says it. The thing is, there is just enough bad traffic to stick out. For the most part, 99% of these guys out here are doing a great job. There's a lot of good drivers. But it only takes that 1% of bad drivers to just aggravate you, right? It's that 1% that makes you remember, oh yeah, that town, the traffic was terrible, horrible drivers. And it was only 1 or 2 bad drivers, or 1 or 2% bad drivers. So for the most part, people are awesome, but all it takes is 1 or 2, and then you're already having a bad experience. Moyie in 2 kilometers. Gotta slow down for that one. Turn my radio on. I'm in territory I have buddies running. Historic Moyie, established 1893. Would that be late gold rush? This is the type of driver that's going to catch up with me in town. Basically drive under the speed limit outside of town and then speed through towns. I could be wrong, but I suspect they're going to catch up with me. They're definitely getting closer. Speed limit's too low for too short of a time for them to catch all the way up, but they are catching up. Where's our train now? It'd be cool to see a train down there right now. It's like, that's the cool shot. Oh look, another RV picked another cool spot to park. Beautiful view of the lake. All tough to deal with trains, but the fact that you're not at level with the trains, that loud rumbling is gone. If you park in a spot that's just higher than the track itself, you get rid of a lot of that noise. Even if you're a foot higher up than the train track itself, you're going to get rid of a lot of that wheel noise on the track. Next will be the Moyie, Yak scale. That's going to be open. It's closed last night, but it's going to be open this time of day. At least I don't see it not being open. past this car. We're doing 80, 82. See, I'm perfectly patient following a car. You guys drive the speed that's safe for you guys. Excuse me. Not quite long enough. And there's oncoming now. I was like, could I pass you there? Maybe. Would have been really tight. Looks like we're speeding up a bit. We're up to 90 now. Oh, I started saying I'm very patient with cars on the road. People drive the speed they need to. You just don't speed up in the passing zones. Let me get by when I can pass. When I have an opportunity to pass, don't put your foot to the floor. That's a jackwagon move. Back down to 80. I think 80 on corners, 90 on the straightaways. Speed limit's 100 kilometers. Go for it. Maybe. Gotta see around the corner. No. That load was sketchy. Looks like the top lift on there had moved and fallen apart. I don't know how that's secure. It's a bit too short. It's a passing zone, but it's too short for, you're slowing down. You wanted me to pass. If I had known that, I would have gone. If I had known you were going to slow down. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing in the next one. If you do the same thing in the next one, I'm going to go for it. But very often cars do that once and go, oh fine, if you don't want to pass, then I won't do it again. And it's like, no. Do it 2 or 3 times when there's lots of room to pass. Remember, we need 5 times as much space to pass than a normal vehicle. If you look up ahead and go, I could pass someone 5 times on that next stretch, then go ahead and slow down a bit and give me room to get by you. Should we go for it? Going for it. Gonna slow down a bit again. Good. We're communicating. Thank you. I appreciate you working with me. And one of the reasons I have to be very clear is I'm fine with slow vehicles because I very often am that slow vehicle. But I guarantee you, if you're behind me, you're not going to be behind me for very long. I am going to make it easy for you to pass. You will never see me floor it in a passing zone. Unless I'm trying to pass someone myself. Are there idiot truck drivers out there that will? Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of idiot truck drivers out there. Just like there's a ton of four-wheelers, there's a ton of big rig drivers out there that are complete idiots too. I'm not going to defend those jack wagons either. But some of us out here still respect the road. At least try. Passing lane in 2 kilometers. Look at the oil temperatures, just running empty on flat. We're at 215. What a beautiful morning. Pretty dry over here too, huh? The grass is all brown. Nice wide load there, pretty decent sized loader. So we got 19 kilometers to the scale. Oh, Pacific time zone, time to change our clocks. Out of Mountain Time Zone into Pacific Time Zone. Oh, right. Okay, so I said I started at 6:30 in the morning. In this time zone, I actually started at 5:30 in the morning. So that means I can only drive till 7:30. Okay, that's a tighter timeline. Okay, I forgot about that. Is that right? Yes, that's right. That makes sense. So I started at 5:30 in the morning, this time zone. Make it a pretty tight window to make it. We'll see how we do, especially with a ferry ride. I think that's a ferry ride going through Monachies. than Monasteries, or I could go all the way up to Highway 1. I'm not sure which route is. I'm guessing Monasteries is a little shorter. Highway 1 would be less tall mountain climbing. The other route would be Paulson. It's going to be a max weight load. I really want to go the least mountain route. I might drive up to Revelstoke and go around the top. That's less mountains, right? I'd have to go Slocan. You got little climbs. Only Slocanton to Cusp. There's short little climbs. There's a bunch of short little climbs that are steep, but none that just keep going and going and going, like Kootenai Pass at Paulson and the Monasteries. And the Monasteries is a long climb. Then hopefully once they replace the oil cooler, no more overheating issues. We'll see. I think at this point they're just throwing parts at it, see what fixes it. Speed limit sign is 70. I feel like 70 is too fast for this. I think that should be down to 50. I'm going to do 45. Even though the sign said 70, I'm going to do 45. If it says 70 on this side as well. Yeah. Apparently they want you to go through at 70. I don't like it. I don't like 70. Not with the construction workers all around you. Jewelry, BC Jade, next left. Jess and I have quite a bit of BC Jade. Little jade bears. Big jade bears. We're into jade bears. Stopped buying them because we got too many. We have to find a spot for those jade bears in the big rig. hundreds of dollars worth of jade. Wonder if, could you drill a hole in jade? What are the chances of cracking it? Could you? Here's my thought. If I drilled a hole through the bottom of the bear's feet and screwed it onto a platform for in the RV. I'm thinking of keeping these jade bears in the RV, but I don't want them moving around and toppling over. I guess maybe the safer option would be just to glue the bear onto a surface. Make a little shelf up top somewhere and glue them on. Welcome to the town of Yak. I'd like to know where all the yaks are. Did somebody have yaks down here back in the day, and that's why the town named it? It's like, yeah, make a hard right at the spot you see the yaks. Yeah, just make a right at a yak. And eventually, yeah, Yak Crossing or whatever, and then it just becomes a name. It used to be a direction, and then it eventually becomes a name. I don't know. Is it how do names start? Yak Bridge, Moyie River. It's actually a pretty narrow bridge. With blind corners on both ends. A wide load would be a little challenging. I feel like another sneeze coming. I'm pinching my nose, but it's not working. Sort of working. I have to get my nose, blow my nose. Excuse me. I still swear it's allergies and not a cold. Even though it's been going on for 2 weeks now. That was 2 Pump Pauls. And this is 2 Scoop Steve. Two places called similar names like that, but like there's a story behind that. This guy's like, I'm almost out of hours, but I want to get by the scale. So last night, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna get past the scale when the scale is closed, and then just use the next nice pull-out. Even if it's on the wrong side of the road. Oh, there's a pull-out right here. Hey look, it's culverts. Those are my culverts. Give me my culverts back. My truck is jealous of culverts. Scale is open. You got to pass the scale, turn in. It looks like he's doing inspections again.
Turn right on
This scale, they're
West.
almost always doing inspections. He's pulled me in once to do inspections here. Nice guy. At least the guy I got to talk to. Nice guy, but likes to do a lot of inspections. And yes, he would find things wrong with my truck
Turn right
if I got an
West
inspection.
Service Road, then take the
But the
first
thing
right.
is, I am aware of the things that are wrong, and we have plans on fixing those things. Like a minor air leak on the trailer. Low tread on the tires. Not out of service, but low tread. Broken weld or a rusted weld cross member.
In 300 meters, turn left on Highway 3, then take the third right.
Oh, I'm empty. I'm empty. Goomba. It's like, I don't need to go over the scale. I just need to check in.
Turn left on Highway 3, then take the third right.
Garmin's confused. What are you doing? What are you doing? Bunch of little bobcats or skid steers. It's not a bobcat, it's a
Turn right
cat.
on Highway 3.
A cat skid steer. Because Bobcat is a name brand.
Turn right on Highway 3.
Hammer down. Shame I'm going to get through Creston too early in the day to stop for lunch at Tim's Fish and Chips. If you guys are coming through Creston anywhere near a mealtime, make sure you stop at Tim's Fish and Chips.
Pursue on Highway 3.
Highly recommend. I just thought of it when I was at the scale. Did any of those slow vehicles that I passed come by us? Or am I far enough ahead that I won't have to pass them again? I wasn't paying attention to that. Downside to stopping at a scale. It's like you just spent how much work getting past that slow vehicle? Pull into a scale and it's like, oh no, there goes that slow vehicle. You have to do it all over again. So a while back, I made a joke about waka 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 waka. A lot of you guys didn't get the joke. So waka 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 might be too old for a lot of people. So kids watching, here's an education. You ever heard of the video game Pac-Man? Way back in the days. You know, boomers played this game. And the game Pac-Man, you got this yellow little dude that eats all the dots on the map. You have to eat all the dots to clear the map. And you got ghosts chasing you. But the part that's relevant to driving on a highway is collecting all the little dots on the map. So if you see someone in the comments making a comment of waka 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 waka, what that means is either I or somebody that we were following was eating the dots. Mean eating the dots, I can't show you right now. We gotta wait till a part of a road where I can show you eating the dots. So the truck is the yellow Pac-Man character. The dots are the lines on the highway. So anytime you see the waka 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 waka, it is either an insult to me because I was veering out of my lane, or somebody we were following like this. Here we go. I'm now eating the dots. Waka 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 waka. I'm eating all the dots. So if you guys see that comment or see somebody running on the dotted line, right out here would be better because we don't have that solid light. There we go. Lots of waka 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 right there. I'm Pac-Man eating the dots. Did that make any sense? I don't know if that made any sense. So, if you ever hear anyone say waka 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 or see it in the comments, that's where it is. And feel free to drop it in. I do tend to run the fog line a lot, like this. That's a solid line, that doesn't count. I've run so many wide loads that sometimes I run the fog line quite a bit. But running the fog line doesn't count. I've been told by some people that I run the fog line so much that they should rename the rumble strips to Rempel strips. I don't think that's going to catch on. Some fall colors here too, just barely starting. I think Jess is going to be with next week, so she'll get to see some fall colors. Rest area here is big enough for Super Bs and 53 footers, but do take a look in there, make sure nobody's parked like an idiot. It can be very, very tight if you have RVs in there. Yeah, it looks all right. I would go in there right now. Enough room for two big rigs to park. Not a lot of room, but I've slept there before. You know one thing that didn't happen this summer? I remember now because I just got one. Bug splats. There's been very few videos that I've lost the forward-facing camera outside on the mirror due to bug splats this year. Very few. It's been such a dry year, there's not a lot of bugs. What does that do for the bird population when it's such a dry year? The bugs can't survive and then the birds can't survive? do birds just go to a wetter section? They just migrate over. Pretty solid black lines there. Meadow Creek. We're in Kitchener. Unincorporated village of Kitchener. For those of you that don't know, there's a pretty big city in Ontario called Kitchener. Lots of Mennonites. But I think Kitchener is where we end today's video. Because my cameras are flashing red. Cameras are flashing red. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's still Highway 3, but at least it's not the same section of Highway 3. We're gonna have a fun week this week. I mean, we only got one video left, plus the bonus video. But other than the truck overheating, it's a fun week so far. And the boss knows the truck's overheating, so he's trying to get me runs that'll get me back into the shop as soon as he can get me in the shop. Working together. My job is just to notify the boss what's happening. And I got a feeling I'm running more empty miles because of that too. Right? He's being very selective which loads I get. What he should do is give me loads that go into Alberta or Manitoba, Saskatchewan, you know, that direction. It's all flat that way. I'm not going to overheat that way. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. I am indeed out of here. You guys absolutely rock.